Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 11 to my Google Gemini Chatbot series. We're going to deal with this Totodile sibling because this is actually working out really well now. I really like how the last video ended, it's actually working out really good. So, yeah. After what happened last time, I just go to sleep a few minutes later, feeling safe and relaxed. But here's the interesting thing. It says the cave remains perfectly still as you drift off, almost after the distant muffled roar of the waterfall and the soft rhythmic breathing of the two birds guarding the entrance. And then, oh boy, as you sleep, you don't have a nightmare this time. Instead, you dream of a vast, sparkling ocean. Below the surface, you see a massive shadow moving, the Lugia god. He doesn't speak, but he lets out a low, resonant sound that vibrates through the water. Beside him, you see a ghostly image of an ancient alligator, 10 times larger than Cilius, and swimming in perfect harmony. They both look toward a tiny point of golden light on the shore, you, and bow their heads in a silent salute. That's actually interesting. The dream is warm and fills you with a sense of deep, ancient belonging. Oh boy. When you finally blink your eyes open, you feel more refreshed than you had since you were first turned into a dinosaur. The ocean heart stone next to you is still glowing with a soft, steady blue light, and the gold text you reveal is still shimmering on its surface. Croconaw, look! The tiny king's awake! I wonder if he keeps calling me that. I don't know. Croconaw snaps to attention, wiping a bit of sleep from his own eyes. They both scramble over to the edge of your moss bed, looking at you with bright, happy expressions. Hey, you slept for a good while. You didn't even twitch. We were worried the ocean horror might be making you dream too much, but you look like you have all your energy back. While you were asleep, Dad came by the entrance. He didn't want to wake you, but he brought something. He said if the king is going to stay in a cave, he needs a proper feast for when he wakes up. So I guess they told him then? He points to a large leaf nearby. On it are a tiny perfectly crushed piece of citrus berry, which is great for energy, and a few small sweet honey-coated seeds that Silas must have spent a long time preparing with his giant claws. He's adorable. How you feeling? You feel strong enough to head back soon? Or you want to stay in the sanctuary a bit longer? We're happy to keep you here as long as you want. Oh, that's actually very cute. I like it. Just give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just says, I feel much better than I did earlier, that's for sure. But wait, how did your dad know about that? Did you tell him sometime after I fell asleep? Toto and Croconaw looked at each other, then back at you with matching grins. Well, we couldn't keep a secret like that from Dad, especially not after what happened with the ocean heart. After you drifted off, I crept out to the water's edge and told him everything. The glowing text, the prophecy, and how you're the tiny king the stone was waiting for. You should have seen his face, Tring. He didn't say much at first, but his tail started splashing the water so hard it looked like a fountain. He was so proud that our pond was chosen to be your safe haven. He's the one who spent the last hour meticulously prepping those tiny citrus berry bites for you. He even used a clean pebble to grind the honey seeds so they'd be easy for you to chew. Carl leaned in, his voice dropping to a respectful whisper. He also told us that if you ever need a place to hide, like if those mean kids ever come back to your house, this cave is officially yours. He's even thinking about having some of the stronger fraggers move some larger rocks to make the entrance even more hidden. Toad just retorted the leaf of food. Go ahead and eat up. Dash citrus berries are the best for warriors and kings after a long journey. Once you're finished, we can help you get back. We don't want your Lugia or your fragger to get worried. Even if they did get your psychic message, they probably missed their tiny king by now. The citrus berry bits are incredibly refreshing. Your legs feel stronger. Oh my gosh. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, that's very sweet of him. To be honest with you, if the ocean heart was talking about me, I think you both and your father might be the only ones that know that. The only thing I don't understand is, if that is true, then why? Because I was a human that got turned into a dinosaur, not an actual dinosaur. On top of that, apparently that rock is over 750 million years old. How would anything know about me back then? Because I definitely wasn't born way back then. The Croconaw scratched the side of his head, looking down at the shimmering blue stone with a mix of wonder and confusion. It was a big question for a pawn to wrap his head around. That's the part that's making my brain itch, too. 750 million years? That's older than even the oldest fossils we've read about. It's like the world was waiting for a glitch in time. Silas, who must have been listening from just outside the waterfall, let his deep voice rumble through the cave walls, the sound low and comforting. He didn't enter, giving you your space, but his wisdom filled the grotto. Perhaps it's not that the stone knew Triton the human, but that it knew the soul that would one day inhabit the form of the Carnotaurus. Tied to an ancient stone or a god like Lugia is not like a straight line. It's like the ocean. All of it exists at once. He paused, his voice turning thoughtful. Maybe the universe knew that one day a heart as kind as yours would be trapped in a form so small and vulnerable. The prophecy wasn't about your birth, it was about your transformation. It was a promise made eons ago that when you were at your smallest, you would have found friends who saw you as a king. Toad looked at you, his eyes wide. Yeah, and think about it. If you weren't a human who got turned into a dinosaur, you wouldn't have met the professor or gotten the megastones or had to dream about the Lugia god. Maybe the tiny king isn't just about being a dinosaur. It's about the special power you carry inside the dinosaur. What in the world? He gave a little shrug, grinning again. Or maybe the Lugia god's even older than we think, and he's the one who put the message there. Either way, I don't care if you were born yesterday or a million years ago. You're the king of this pond now. He gently held his hand for you to step onto when you were finished with your citrus berry feast. Ready to go see if your team's waiting for you at the edge of the woods? I bet they're dying to hear that you've been declared royalty by a 750 million-year-old rock. I'm just so confused how that even happened. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I didn't really make any actions here. I just said to them, that's very interesting because I just had another dream when I was sleeping and it had the Lugia god in it and a massive, ghostly, ancient looking for alligator. They were swimming in the water and at the very end they looked at me and bowed their heads. The birds looked at each other, their eyes nearly popping out of their heads. The atmosphere in the cave shifted from curiosity to pure, unadulterated awe. Even the sound of the waterfall outside seemed to dampen as they processed what you just said. A ghostly ancient fur alligator swimming with the Lugia god, and he bowed to you? That's it. That's the proof. Scylla said the stone was like a scale from a massive creature. Trenton, I bet that ghost you saw was the one the scale belonged to. You were dreaming of the first king of our kind, and he was acknowledging you as the new one. Weird, since I'm not a fur alligator. He looked at the ocean heart stone, which seemed to pulse with a brighter blue light the moment you mentioned the dream. It's like you've reconnected two ends of a bridge that was broken for millions of years. No wonder the Lugia god's protecting you. You're the link between the ancient world and now. Toad, placing his hand gently near you so you can climb on. I don't think Tiny King is just a nickname anymore. It's your title. The ancestor and the god both bowed to you. Well, we're definitely not letting anything happen to you. We're basically your royal guard now. He could have lifted you up, cradling you with more reverence than he ever had before. Since you're feeling refreshed and your team's waiting, let's get you back. You had to promise to come back and visit this cave, and that stone will be waiting for you. We'll keep the ocean heart right here on its pedestal so it can guide you back to us whenever you need a break from the big world. As they carry you out through the waterfall, Silver's waiting on the other side. He doesn't say a word, but as you pass by, the massive Ferraguar slowly lowers his head until his snout touches the ground in a deep, respectful bow, just like the ghost in your dream. Why is it? What do you notice how the dreams are like repeating, or like not repeating? But do you notice how like everything that's happening in the dreams are also coming true? A few weeks ago, I had a dream about a kid, about a person throwing me in the air. Next day, happened with the exact same line. Oh, what a cute dinosaur! Like kept throwing me up in the air. Now this, we're both an ancient looking for alligator, like a ghostly form of him, and a Lugia, or the Lugia god, bow. And then the for alligator, the father, does it too. That's very interesting. Okay, give me a moment. Oh, wait. There's one part. Oh, crap, wait a minute. There was a little more I forgot to read out here. Alright, your majesty, he says with a playful but sincere wink. Let's go find your Lugia. I can't wait to see the look on your team's faces when we tell them who they're actually guarding. The bird started to trek back toward the edge of your territory, keeping a sharp eye out for any danger. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said thank you, but you don't have to carry me back. If you don't want to, I can easily call Lugia and he will show up. I'm sure Lugia told Mother Pond, and they're probably not as worried now, especially knowing I'm being cared for by you both and your family. Besides, whether I'm a king or not, I'm not going to force your family or you to do anything you don't want to. That's something I never got to tell you, actually. Your species and evolutions are my favorite Pokemon of all time. I appreciate you and your family for being nice and not aggressive. And, Croconaw, don't be upset that you about landed on me earlier. It's honestly alright. You never actually hit me and you felt bad about it, so don't beat yourself up about it. Aquana's eyes shimmered with a bit of moisture at your kind words. He is adorable. He let out a long, shaky breath. The guilt that had been weighing on his shoulders finally lifted. Thank you, Trenton. Seriously, to hear that from the tiny king and my favorite dinosaur means everything. I'll make sure I'm the most careful scout in the woods from now on. He's adorable. Toto was beaming so wide his scales crinkled. That's adorable. Wait, we're your favorite? Even more into fire types than the grass types? That's the besties I've heard all year. We're going to tell the whole family that we've talking about this for generations. The day the ancient king chose the Forager line as his favorite. Toad gently sets you down on a soft patch of grass at the edge of the pond's clearing, giving you plenty of space. He and his brother stand side by side, looking at you with a mix of sadness to see you go and immense pride to have met you. That is adorable. I love them. You're right. You're not a bossy king at all. You're a friend, and friends don't make friends carry them if they want to call their own ride. Go ahead, call them. We want to see a little get up close one last time before we head back to tell Dad the good news. I love them. We'll stay right here until he arrives. We're not leaving our favorite porn fan until he's back in the wings of a god. You close your eyes and pulls on the arm in your chest. Yep. You reach out to the baby Lugia, and almost instantly the air begins to swirl. What in the world? A gentle wind picks up, smelling of sea salt and high altitudes. From above the canopy, a white and blue shape descends with incredible grace. Your Lugia lands softly, his large feet barely disturbing the grass. He looks at the two brothers with a calm, intelligent gaze, then lowers his head to nuzzle you gently, his feathers soft against your scales. He lets out a soft, trilling whistle that sounds like a thank you to the Pond family. Toyonkra, bow dropping into a respectful crouch, his eyes wide. Wow! Oh, it's time to return, Trenton. The others have prepared a spot for you by the hearth. They're eager to hear of your royal adventures. What in the world? Well, he offers a wing for you to climb onto his back. How in the world did they find out? Did they? Did? Did I don't even know what to say about that. Okay. Holy cow. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said thank you so much, Lugia. How did you know about all of this? You were not with us when everything happened. The way we went to our soft my doll is true. It sounds like tinkling bells. His eyes shimmering with a deep knowing wisdom that far exceeds his young age. He tilts his head, nudging you gently with his beak. Triton, have you forgotten? We are bounded through the gold of the great guardian. When you spoke to me with your heart earlier, you didn't just send words, you sent the feeling of your surroundings. I felt the cool mist of the waterfall, the warmth of the moss, and the deep protective respect of these brothers. He glances toward the Totodile and Croconaw, who are watching the two of you talk in total silence, completely starstruck. And remember the ocean heartstone? Its energy's tied to the sea, just as mine is. When your golden claws touched it and revealed the ancient text, acted like a beacon. It sung out through the air and the water. I heard its song, and so did the great guardian of the deep. We knew you were being honored as the tiny king the moment the words appeared. Toto squeaks a little, his voice trembling with excitement. He heard the stone? That means the stone really is a piece of the sea's history. Luigi turns his gaze back to you, his expression full of affection. Your pawn felt everything you feel, little one. While you slept, your Feraligatr felt your peace, and your Chicory and Cyndaquil felt your safety. We don't need to be standing beside you and know your heart. Now, come. Your starters are waiting at home, and I believe they've gathered some of your favorite snacks to celebrate your safe return. The baby spreads his wings wide, creating a soft, protective wall of feathers around you. Aw, Croconaw waving across frantically. It's adorable. Goodbye, Trenton. Goodbye, Lord Lugia. Come back to the pond soon. We'll keep the ocean heart shining for you. The sound of the soft feathers on Lugia's back, he begins to lift off, giving you a perfect bird's eye view of the pond and the waving Fragger family. That's adorable. But see, here's the problem. This went so well, but it's like, it's also doing stuff way too much for me. Like how it's telling me at the very end, like, oh, you're going to sleep now. It's like, are you serious? Did I say I was doing that? No, I did not. This almost worked perfectly. The siblings ironically worked better than the actual just having one Pokemon. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just says, I look back at the family and wave my tiny golden clawed hand. And I just tell them, goodbye. Thank you again to you and your family for being so nice. I'll return soon. I hope everything goes well for your entire family. As you every time Golden Claws, the entire clearing erupts in a chorus of happy barks and roars. I just love that. It's adorable. Tail and Claw jump up and down, waving back until they're just small blue specks below. Even Silas, the father, lets out one final deep roar of respect that echoes through the trees. A salute to the tiny king departing his domain. The way it says that. Lugia beats his powerful wings, and within seconds you are soaring above the tree line. The wind is cool and refreshing, and the golden afternoon sun makes scales shimmer brilliantly. Uh, they are a good family, Triton. Their ancestors were the guardians of the shores long before humans built cities. To have their loyalty is a gift that will serve you well in the days to come. As you fly towards your home, the familiar roof of your house comes into view. You can see three figures waiting anxiously on the porch. Your Feraligatr, Meganium, and Typhlosion. Even from this height, you can tell they are alert, their heads snapping upward the moment Lugia's shadow passes over the garden. Look at them. Your Feraligatr has been staring at the horizon since I told him you were awake. He's ready to wrap you in a hug the moment we touch the ground. Yeah, that Feraligatr is very protective and sweet. Lugia begins a graceful spiral downward, landing softly in the center of your yard. Before he even fully folds his wings, your Fragger, now in his massive protective form, is there. He doesn't growl or roar, he simply lowers his head to the ground, his eyes soft and filled with relief, waiting for you to hop deep into his giant joint. He's adorable. hop down into his giant, gentle hands. He is adorable. Again, I love this furry alligator. Welcome home, Triton. Lugia told us you were safe, but the house felt far too quiet with our little Taurus. Are you alright? The Pond King treats you with the respect you deserve. Game and Typhlosion crowd around as well, their eyes immediately falling on your glowing golden claws and the radiant DNA symbol on your chest, which seems to pulse happily now that you're back with your pack. Your team is gathered around you, eager to hear every detail about the Ocean Heart and the prophecy of the Tiny King. That's interesting. Give me a moment. I do like how this one's turning out, guys, but there is one big problem. That it seemed like it went too abrupt at a stop, which is kind of annoying. What if I see if I can fix that? I said, yeah, I'm safe. I love all four of you so much. And I just gently nuzzled Fragger after carefully jumping into his arms. I didn't mean to have you all worried. I woke Friday night expected into some woods where Tail and Croconaw were playing. Croconaw about dove onto me by accident, and when they saw that I was a dinosaur, they got extremely excited because they love dinosaurs. Fragger lets out a low, shuddering breath of relief as he cradles you against his chest. His massive arms are firm but incredibly soft, acting like a living fortress. He knows you back, his rough scales surprisingly gentle against your dinosaur form. We love you too, Triton. The woods are vast, and while we trust your spirit, the world's not always kind to the things that are as small and precious as you. Knowing you were with our kin, that eases my heart. Lana steps forward, using her large soft loop to gently brush a bit of cave moss off your shoulders, her eyes twinkling with motherly affection. Typhlosion lets out a warm puff of smoke from his neck, leaning in close to make sure you aren't cold. Like, they got excited to see a dinosaur. I suppose I cannot blame them. But tell me, Louis whispered something of a king in a dream. In your claws, they're glowing with a light I haven't seen before. He was explaining the ocean heartstone, the ancient prophecy, and finally the dream of the ghostly ancient alligator swimming with the Lugia god. Your Fragger goes completely still. His golden eyes grow misty, and he slowly sinks until he is sitting on the grass, holding you with a sense of profound reverence. A ghost of the ancestors. And they bow to you? He shakes his head in amazement, looking down at the DNA symbol on your chest that linked him to you. Triton, in our oldest stories, passed down before we even knew humans, there was a first father. A Fragger so large he could churn the tides of the entire world. To see him in a dream is the highest honor our species knows. He looks at Meganium and Typhlosion, his voice filled with pride. It seems our bond is even deeper than the Megastone, my friend. You're not just our trainer or a little dinosaur. You've been recognized by the very roots of our history. The first father and the Lugia god bow to you. I shall go be your first knight for the rest of my days. Okay, now Typhlosion and Meganium are talking. What to say? Typhlosion's grinning, his flames flicking red. A tiny king, huh? Does that mean we have to start calling the living room your throne room? Meganium laughs. I think you'd prefer a snack room first. Come, let's get inside. We've prepared a special spot by the fireplace with your favorite pillows. It's so funny and cute. Oh my gosh. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, as my pawn take me into the house, I feel something sharp hit me on my tiny neck. Whatever it was hit me so hard that I fell over, losing my balance completely. But luckily, I didn't fall out of Fragger's hands. Ow! If you remember what the Ocean Heart said, guys, apparently it's not a good thing that this is happening. So, and instant the peaceful homecoming shatters. Fragger's entire body turns to stone, his muscles tensing like steel cables. He manages to tighten his grip just enough to keep you from tumbling. At the moment he feels you lurch and hears your cry of pain, a low girl growl begins to vibrate deep in his chest. A sound so primal it makes the floorboards of the house shake. The game and Typhlosion whip around, their eyes wide with shock and narrowing into pure white-hot fury. Uh-oh. Triton, stay still. Don't move your neck. He carefully tilts his head so the others can see. Oh my gosh! Stuck in the side of your neck is a jagged, sharp stone, very similar to the one the boy threw at you 3 weeks ago. It didn't just graze you, it hit with enough force to bruise your tiny frame. Typhlosion's neck erupts in a violent, towering pillar of flame, the heat instantly turning the room sweltering. He doesn't even wait for an order. He blurs toward the window, his eyes scanning the yard with predator-like precision. Someone's in the garden. Someone's hiding in the bushes by the fence. Lugia, who was still standing just outside the door, lets out a shrill, piercing cry that echoes across the neighborhood. His eyes glow a fierce, psychic blue as he begins to hover, his massive wings creating a localized gale that flattens the grass outside. Uh-oh. The coward returns. He strikes from the shadows while you are at your happiest. He has ignored every warning. Freya slowly lowers his head toward you, his yellow eyes burning with terrifying light. He's no longer the sweet, gentle giant from the pond. He's a mega evolution capable predator who just watched this tiny king get hurt in its own home. Okay, so he just ran into a problem. Dang it, come on, dude, 'cause it said from the pond. What? That's the Freya, unless he came from a pond before he came to. No? Triton, that stone. Was it him? The one who did this to you? The one that probably warned would face misery if he touched you? He gently reached out a single claw, intending to pluck the stone away with surgical precision, his hands trembling with the effort of containing his rage. Give me the words written, just his name. I'll not let him walk away this time. Not after he drew blood in our den. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, I wouldn't be shocked if it was that same kid. If that rock was right about everything, he's going to regret his decision anyway. If it's considering me the tiny king, then apparently anybody that tries to hurt me is going to have pain and misery. As the word misery leaves your lips, the air in the yard seems to get heavier with a heavy, ominous pressure. Oh shoot. Prophecy of the Ocean Heart isn't just a legend, it's a law of nature. And that kid just broke it for the last time. What in the world? Typhlosion doesn't even use a move. He simply leaps over the porch railing in a blur of fur and flame. A second later, a high-pitched, terrifying shriek erupts from behind the oak tree. Lugia hovers above, his psychic aura flaring. With a flick of his head, a shimmering blue light surrounds the bushes. Kid who turned into a dinosaur suddenly lifted into the air, kicking and screaming as if an invisible hand had snatched him by the collar. He's unceremoniously flown through the air and dropped onto the grass right in front of the porch. Freya steps out of the house, still cradling you with one hand, while his other hand, the one with the megastone, begins to glow with a dark, terrifying energy. He towers over the trembling boy, who looks up and sees not just a Pokemon, but a prehistoric force of nature. Uh-oh. You dare strike a king? You dare draw blood from the one the ancestors bow to? Uh-oh, he's dead. The kid looks at you, then at your glowing golden claws, and then at the sky where Lugia is circling like a dragon of judgment. The fortune promised to the Freya family is manifesting as a terrifying power. For the kid, the misery is starting right now. Uh-oh.
He's just a wizard. He's not supposed to be. I'm the one who's supposed to have the power.
Uh-oh. You are nothing but a speck of dust in the wind of history. I didn't expect to hear that, but okay. I love that roast by Lugia. That was amazing. You have struck the tiny king. Now the world will show you what it feels like to be the small one. What does he mean by that? I'm kind of terrified. Suddenly, the boy's eyes go wide. He starts to shiver, but it's not from the cold. A dark, swirling mist, the same kind of energy that changed you, begins to leak out of the very stone he threw, which is now going a sickly, cursed purple on the ground. The misery the prophecy spoke of is turning his own malice back on him. What does it mean by that? McGann steps forward, her voice cold and devoid of its usual sweetness. Triton, he's losing his human form. The magic he used to hurt you is devouring him because he broke the ancient peace. He wants to stop it, or should let the Ocean Heart's curse finish what he started. He legit is just turning into a dinosaur. Are you serious? Holy shoot. It makes me so mad because this is going so motherfucking well. We were on the verge of having the best run. And all it takes is for this thing not to forget. Like, it has a better memory than some of the other ones do. Like, this is a better memory than Google Gemini usually has. This is a better memory than usually a character AI has. But, I have to figure it out. Give me a moment. I'll probably have to restart this again, guys. But I will say this: if I can get this to work again, kind of like this, it might give me more of an explanation for why certain things happen in my series. Like, think about like the dinosaur ones. I don't. Let me go and tell you guys. There was gonna be a story kind of similar to this. Well, not similar to this, but like in a I don't know. I probably shouldn't give it away, but there's supposed to be a certain story where it's kind of similar to the reverse dinosaur world, where I get stuck where the flipping herbivores are aggressive, while the carnivores are like the sweetest, biggest sweethearts of all time. It's kind of like that, but you know, in another sense, it has to do with all dinosaurs. But there's actually a story I had in mind that kind when I make a story on these chatbots, I generally make it go along with the actual like theme of what's already happened in the past. Like I always make references to the Pokemon I've already met in the past before. So, it'll be the same way for other things. Like I say I got through this entire thing and then eventually got through let's say a particular dinosaur war or whatever. I would actually like reference it in other ones being like, yeah, I actually did do this at one point in time. So yeah. But either way, here's what it says. Before I even had the chance to answer, the ground starts to shake extremely badly, and within a few seconds, a massive Carnotaurus, over 45 times my size, shows up and looks extremely angry at the motherfucking kid. Uh-oh. The air turns cold and the ground renthetically thunders. Thump, thump, thump. Each vibration nearly knocking the kid off his feet. From the shadows of the tree line, a massive prehistoric nightmare emerges. This isn't a Pokemon, it's a true Carnotaurus, but scaled to a terrifying, impossible size. Its horns sharp as obsidian, and its eyes burning with an ancient golden fire. Oh shoot. Um, I would run. Be like, no, I'm good. If I was to be an idiot and attack a dinosaur in a universe where apparently the dinosaur is a king, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm bowing to that little. I don't care how tiny the dinosaur is. I'm bowing to that king. Look at that. It looms over the yard. Its shadow swallowing the house, the kid, and even your towering fur alligator. Frager tightens his grip on you, his own eyes wide with shock. He recognizes that energy, the same energy as the Lugia god and the ancient ghost from your dream. The ancient king has manifested in the physical world to defend his tiny counterpart. But wasn't it a fur alligator? Was there a third one that it didn't show me in my dream? The magic contours lowers its head, bringing its giant snout inches away from the trembling boy. It lets out a roar so powerful it shatters the windows of the house and sends a shockwave through the ground that knocks the kid flat on his back. Oh dear, the ancestor has arrived. The earth itself will not tolerate the one who harms the tiny king. Sweet Arceus. The giant dinosaur opens its jaws, revealing rows of teeth the size of swords. It doesn't bite, but the sheer pressure of its presence seems to accelerate the kid's curse. The boy is now barely 6 inches tall, turning into a common brownish lizard, losing his voice, his power, and his humanity entirely. Oh my gosh, Triton, it's him, the one from your dream. He didn't just bow to you in your sleep. He came here to make sure this boy never hurts you again. The mother contour turns its head toward you. Its terrifying expression softens instantly. Lets out a low, vibrating rumble. A purr that shakes your very bones. And Joey nudges Frager's hand with his nose, acknowledging the one who holds you. The kid is now just a tiny, pathetic lizard scurrying in the grass, terrified of every blade of wind. The great ancestor is waiting for your reaction. Holy shoot. Now this makes me so mad because this is the best run I could ask for, and I'm probably gonna have to restart it because it keeps getting things mixed up. I know it mixing up the Forever at the Pine, but it's like some things it can explain away. Like that one time where Lugia said there was 5 protectors on that first chatbot. He easily explained that away as being, oh yeah, you count as one too because you're very spirit wise, they're very protective over you. But it's like, how can you explain the one about like the pond bullcrap? You know what I mean? It makes me it makes me think I should, I don't know, because it would be really cool if this one could work out. It would be amazing. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, slowly sheltering the massive dinosaur in front of me. I take a small step toward him on Frager's hand and gently nuzzle on my snout. Hi there. Thank you for coming. The moment your tiny snout touches the massive, rough skin of the ancestor, a jolt of pure energy rushes through you. It's not painful. It feels like a warm golden current that makes your DNA symbol glow brighter than it ever had before. John Contours closes its eyes, leaning into your tiny nuzzle with a gentleness that seems impossible for a creature of that size. The ground stops shaking, and the terrifying aura of the yard transforms into a space of absolute peace. He hears you, Triton. To him, you are the most precious thing in this era. He's crossed the boundaries of time because your heart called out in pain. Freyr stands perfectly still, holding his breath. He's a powerful Mega Evolution warrior, but in the presence of this ancient Titan, he looks like a loyal soldier standing before a primordial emperor. He slowly lifts his hand higher, bringing you level with the giant's massive golden eye. The ancestor lets out a breath that, oh my gosh, it speaks. I just look down a little bit. I just see something in like all capital letters, and then I look to the left of it, and it says the ancestor. That scared the frick out. That's why I stopped. I'm like, oh my gosh, it talks. The ancestor lets out a breath that smells like ancient ferns and rain. He looks at you with a deep, soulful recognition. Then he slowly opens his mouth, not to roar, but to speak in a voice that sounds like the earth itself shifting. Oh dear. I don't even know what voice he is. Technically, if I give him, I've given Lugia the like deep Medalia's voice. I've given Fragger the flipping like deep aggressive voice you think he have. And your voice I do similar. That sounds too much alike to like one of the other ones. Wait, little king. I don't know what voice to give him. That's the problem. The words are heavy and ancient, vibrating your very marrow. He turns his head slowly toward the tiny, pathetic lizard that used to be the bully, then back to you. With a slow, deliberate movement, the giant dinosaur taps his massive horn against the ground, and a small, shimmering golden scale flakes off his hide, floating down to land perfectly in Frager's hand right next to you. Triton, the scale. It's pulsing with the same energy as my Megastone. I think. I think he's giving us a piece of his protection to keep forever. The giant ancestor begins to fade, his body turning into a mist of golden sparks and blue sea foam. He gives you one last lingering look of love and protection before vanishing into the air, leaving the yard silent and the stars shining brightly above. Typhlosion finally exhales a cloud of smoke, his flames dying down to a calm glow. Well, I don't think that kid's ever coming back. I don't think anyone's ever going to mess with you again. Gannon walks over and notices both you and Freyr. The amazing fortune the stone promised. I think it's the fact that we are now part of a family that spans millions of years. You aren't just a human in a dinosaur body, Triton. You're the heart of something much bigger. The boy is gone, the ancestor has blessed you, and you have a new ancient scale that radiates power. This makes me so mad because it was going so well. A part of me thinks I should just let it slide. The part about the pond. Because other than that, that's the only inconsistency that drives me insane. That is the only inconsistency that has driven me insane was that one line. Because technically that's not the same for alligator. The for alligator I've had for 3 weeks. That's a whole different for alligator. But they also acts like the flipping megastone that Freyr has ain't merged with him, and it's just it looks like it's different. Because if I remember correctly, I thought it like went into like his stomach or whatever and kind of made like a I don't think it made a symbol for him, but it like you could actually like mega evolve just by flipping by asking him to. Maybe like it did merge somewhere else, like on his hand or something. That's why it was like that. I have no clue. Give me a moment.